booked their surgery for tomorrow.
Good. That's great news.
Yeah. So I definitely appreciate you and DT. I feel like most of the people came from you guys. I feel like because there was a lot of people who donated that I don't I, I don't know personally. I mean, I assume some of them maybe just know me through social media as well.
Mhm.
But I definitely I don't take that lightly. You know, I mean, even anybody who reached out just to check on Kane and stuff like that. I appreciate that. You know, if you even if you can't donate, because everybody's in shit like shit is hard out here. You know, everybody's in whatever position they are. So just reaching out to see what's up with Kane means a lot to me.
I mean, I
You
got
know,
a dog. I don't. It's not the same as a kid, but I have a dog, and I know how much I love my dog, and I know you love your dog, and he deserves it. I mean, you
yeah,
deserve the help. You help us get through life with these podcasts and shit. So it's a small
appreciate that.
favor in return.
Appreciate that. I think I think when you don't have kids, I think your dog literally like becomes a kid. You know.
Best friend, child, needy ass child.
Yeah. But it's like the best responsibility. Like I know as people sometimes we complain about responsibility, but without it, we don't have purpose. We need that purpose of responsibility. You know?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know. And anytime I've been in a situation where I didn't have a sense of responsibility, like I feel like my performance goes to shit because you don't realize like there's things that drive you that you don't even realize drives you. You know, so without that, if you lose your sense of purpose, you kind of fucked. You know, it's
Yep.
like if we have a busy day, we might complain here and there, but we don't really mean it because the truth is that I've been in positions where I didn't have any work, and that just sucks. You want to be busy, which is the truth.
Been there, done that. Yep. It's not
Exactly.
fun.
Life is. I
Got
think
you a
it's
dial moves.
Mhm.
Them things are strong, boy.
I feel like I haven't been doing a lot of promo, but hey, Dial Mood, code Macho or code Alyssa.
Yep, yep.
There we go.
I
Game
got a
time.
fridge full. I got two cases right here. And I'm down to the point where all I need is half a can. Like a full can, I don't need it. I feel like it's a waste of it. So I drink half a can one morning and half a can the next.
You know what? To be honest, I feel like if you need a full can, I think you're forcing it. I think you're
Yes.
forcing it. You
Yep.
know, I think people drink it because if anybody asks me, yo, I want to cop it. Like, how does it feel? I always tell them if you just starting, bro, you could do like a third, right? Just because I think what happens is people automatically drink the whole can because they're used to doing that with other energy drinks, and then
Mhm.
maybe they set their set point up higher than it should be, and now that becomes normal. You know, but when I first drank it, there was no way I could have drank a whole can. I didn't. I just didn't need it. You know. Hold on, let me see. That's
It
indeed.
really has like I've never taken pain medication besides like ibuprofen, but it
Uh-huh.
really makes me feel like I'm not in pain. Like if I'm doing something, I'm like, this should fucking hurt, and it don't.
Oh, 100%. Well, cardio and prep, it changed the game for me because instead of me on the cardio machine for hours, like, oh my God, what the fuck? I didn't mind. I was like, yo, this is all right, listening
Sweating
to
like
podcasts.
hell. Yep.
Yeah. Or shit, even before the podcast, the reason I drink it is because sometimes I wake up and I'm tired and I don't really feel like talking. And then I drink it and I'm like, and then once I see all the stuff, I'm like, yeah, this is all right, this is fun. So it helps put you in the mood and it helps in so many ways. What's up, DT?
What's up, y'all?
What
DT just
up,
woke
bro?
Yeah.
Lumberjack DT.
I didn't even know where I was at one point.
Yo,
Woke up like I
DT,
was someone else's house.
yo, you ever tried kratom? Like any kind of kratom?
Yeah, bro. I was sponsored by Mint 45 Enterprising for a while.
Oh, okay. What
And that
you
fat ass paycheck.
what you think about it in general? What's
I don't think it's addicting like everyone talks about.
Mm-mm.
okay, yeah.
Now
Uh,
I'll say what Mint 45 Enterprising was using. They didn't have that 7 nitrogeny, whatever I don't know. I'm talking shit, I guess. They didn't have the molecule, whatever, in that kratom that it was the addictive property. But everyone said that you're going to get addicted. This is how I base kratom. Kratom it's as addictive as caffeine.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So you can take it, and you're going to rely on something when it makes you feel good. Because when I take it, like I'm taking it today for a quad day, fucking, it's great. It gets me chattery, but if you can slow that chattery, like if you can slow that shit down, you can get focused. Not that I need to be focused, but it just helps as a stimulatory effect for my training.
100%. If you get,
I'm gonna get fucking blasted for that. So just watch.
Yeah, but people want to prove that so bad. I feel like when we first started talking about dials, everybody's like, "Yo, that kratom is gonna fuck you up." And I'm like, God damn, like, why y'all so negative about this shit? It's like they got something against it. I mean, listen, I get it. Everything is for everybody, right? I don't really take caffeine like that. You know, I feel like my heart works hard enough, so I'm like, I don't want to take too much caffeine, but I get it. Everything is for everybody, so everybody's not gonna want to take kratom. That's fine, but the people I know taking it, I don't know anybody who feels like addicted to kratom in any kind of way. I feel like you have to really be reaching for some kind of feeling for you to be addicted to caffeine or kratom. You got to really be chasing some kind of feeling. And I don't think you're doing your job. I don't think you're doing your part. If you have to take 1,000 milligrams of caffeine every day, just not in prep, like last 4 weeks of prep is different, but like in off season, you're not getting, something's going wrong. Some has went wrong. You're not getting enough sleep. You're not getting enough rest. You're overtrained. Something you're doing is wrong that's causing you to feel the need to be so stemmed up all the time, right? So you have to do your part. You can't just rely, you're like relying on drugs. I don't want to do cardio. I'm gonna just take more Clen. I'm gonna just take more T3. You're dropping the ball if you feel like you have to rely on these substances. That's more on you than the drug. If we being real. So Nick,
hey, what's going on?
I would say this, man. I took it for a year straight, every day. And then I came off of it. Okay.
No problem.
Nothing changed.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how long it was, but it was like from like 20 weeks out to like, because after a couple months after the show, you still kind of feel a little fucked up. So maybe 30 weeks to say, right? And I'm not gonna lie, in the back of my head, I'm like, yo, am I taking this because I want to, or am I taking this because I need to? I was like, let me make sure. And then once I felt okay, like a fucking human being again, I just stopped. And I'm like, oh, no problem. I'm fine, But I thought about it just because, prep, you feel so shitty that you don't even know, like, like I smoke a lot more in prep. But then I'm like, am I just smoking it because I want to feel good or because I feel shitty? It's because you feel shitty. Yeah, that's all it is. For me,
I still have stock, and I will run out soon. And I won't buy it because it's expensive. I'm just being honest.
It is.
I won't buy it, and there was nothing that happened. And also, blood work didn't differ to anyone that takes kratom. Like there was no liver enzymes that were elevated. My kidneys were fine. Like, just normal stuff. So, as normal as possible is what we do. So,
a lot of people were saying it's gonna be the new Bane. I'm like, God damn, shit. I don't think so.
I wish.
It ain't that strong. Have you ever done well, first of all, have you ever done new Bane?
Nah, I never did new Bane, but I felt like I was kind of in that era when I started bodybuilding, but I was like, I didn't dabble in that. But yeah, kratom. The only kratom I tried, it was like those little white rabbit drinks.
Oh yeah.
There's a Larry Wills one that has like a little bit of caffeine in it, like an iced tea flavor. That's the only one I like.
That's from what I haven't tried that one, but I heard it feels like dialed a little bit.
Yeah,
With the
I never tried Dial, so yeah, it probably does.
what is kava? Because Dialed makes like a kava and kratom drink too.
That's a kava's different. Like that's a different extract than
Compound.
kratom.
Yeah, because dialed has like some kind of mushroom kind of thing going on as
The
well.
like cordyceps and shit.
Yeah, dialed is a bit different. They got a couple of things going on in there. Yeah,
But they
because it
have two
felt
energy drinks. They got that one that you have, and then they have like a whole different one. It's like kava and kratom, I think.
yeah,
Type.
yeah. That's why if you try different brands, you gotta assess yourself because I actually had I was sent I tried the mid 40 and I'm sorry, what's the other brand?
Uprising.
Uprising.
Uprising. It's like the same thing but different, whatever. Um, uh, I don't know if I say who sent it, but somebody sent me, shit to try it out. This is before that, by the way, so I'm not like, but yeah, it's a complete different feeling. Like similar. Don't get me wrong. Like same similar feeling, but it was different, and I had to dose it different as well. I had got the shot. It's like the black one.
Bro, let
Yeah,
me tell you something.
that shit was strong.
Huh.
I hate that.
So I knew about Mint 45 a couple of years ago before we even sponsored. And my boss had these kratom shots. He said, "Hey, you want one of these?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it. Tastes like fucking cool battery acid." Pop one of those. Dude, I was on the computer and I just couldn't stop. Couldn't stop talking. Couldn't stop typing. I was just like so that feeling there when you're working in an office environment, I can see how that's an addicting feeling when you're going into it. Now, taking that and using it towards training, it's a different caveat of like focus.
Yeah.
So I think it depends how you use it as well. And I don't know if this is true. I'm going to say his name and you guys are going to be like, Phil Viz. See, everyone just did it. Apparently, I don't know if there was a study or something, but he says when you take kratom with your orals, it actually works better. It acts as like grapefruit juice in a sense. I don't know how true or not that is, but
I thought you were saying that Phil.
but yeah.
I thought you were saying Phil takes a lot of kratom. I thought that's what you were saying.
Oh no! I was saying Phil Viz said this, so I could just
Okay.
link you to that because I don't want to take any part of the credit for the kratom and oral aspect.
Well, Phil's personality looks like he takes a lot of kratom.
I was gonna say that sounds like baser activities. Like, let me take some kratom, then I'm gonna take this Anavar and D-ball.
Yeah, I just there was an interesting group when we were there. There was a lot of people that were sponsored. A lot.
Yeah, with Uprising, right?
Yeah.
That's typically the only people that take it, correct? Like sponsored people.
Yeah.
Low key. I mean, if I didn't have a sponsor for kratom,
I'm not taking it.
I would try. You know how we
you ain't paying me $25 for a fucking shot.
I can't lie. I would spend my own money on the gummies personally. I like the gummies.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I would do is I would try to. I mean, in the past, I actually did spend my own money on it, but like when I feel like shit, that's when I would spend the money on it. Like I'm taking it right now. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how much I would invest in it until I really need it. But
yeah.
What I'll probably go underground, try to get some shit from China, a fucking kilo of fucking kratom powder.
Because I buy all mine myself, but I'm like I only use it on leg day. Like they help me on leg day. I heard other people talking about it, like let me try this out. I'm like, all right, this helps. But that was about as much as I could afford. Like like that, I want to waste my money on really. Like,
Nate, do you feel like it takes your pain away?
I didn't look at it that way. I didn't take that into consideration. I just felt it gave me more stamina to get to the workout.
I
It's
think
like
it will do. I'm sorry. I think it will do whatever you want it to do in a weird way. Like whatever you put your mind to use it for, it's good for that. Because the milligram dosages that they use for sleep and your daily, it's almost identical.
Wait, so you can take it before you go to sleep?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
helps
because I
you
wasn't
sleep.
sure about that. And I
well,
saw that
Helps you,
Uprising has like the Descend.
yeah, descend and ascend.
but listen, do the gummies though, but don't do
Right,
the
right, right,
shit
right.
because
Yeah.
the drink got other things in it that probably keep
Hey,
you.
hey, when you eat those gummies, it makes your tongue go numb.
It kind of does.
Yeah,
It kind of does. Yeah.
yeah.
Shit, the gummies. I was having the gummies at like midnight because I was training. Sometimes I would have my like cardio. I would have like a intense session of cardio before I go to bed, and then I would have a gummy, and I would go to sleep fine. You
Yeah.
know, and I actually
Remember
heard
that.
people say that like it kind of does whatever you want it to do. And if you haven't tried it, that doesn't make sense. You're like, boy, you just making that shit up to make sales. Like how would it do that? And then you try it, and it's like I've taken it just to be social. Like in prep, I'm like, I gotta go to this birthday party. All right, fuck it, let me go. And I go, and I'm acting like I'm not even in prep, and I'm like, yo, I forgot I was even in prep. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if I go to a bodybuilding show or something, I take kratom, and I'm out there socializing. You know, before a leg day, I take it, and it feels like pre-workout. So it kind of, you know, before sex, you take it, and it's kind of like, but whatever you take it for, it does its job. So I mean, good product. It's not a sales pitch, but since we talking about it, Dog Moods going macho.
Yeah, pick it up.
Nah,
I actually, I never got so much heat for anything that I do besides posting that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. With all the steroid shit you post.
But all the shit that I post, that's the biggest thing that people are like, "You're fucked up, man. You're fucking getting people addicted." I'm like, I'm pinning myself on camera and talking about steroids, but you guys are. I was like, okay, cool.
People are harsh on it, but yeah, they love the steroid talk. But you talk about kratom, they don't like that shit. Now, sometimes in the comments, like these are like former addicts talking. That's something you got to figure out. You got to figure out what works for you. I'm not going to tell no former addict to take it, but I do know a lot of. I mean, a lot of people. I'm in LA. A lot of people are former addicts, right? And I know a lot of them who do take it and they're fine. I'm not saying that. I'm not no fucking doctor. I'm not telling you, you know, what you should do. I feel like you know your history best. So if that's not for you, then stay away from it. It is what it is.
I mean, addiction. I think we're all addicted to something in our own way. I mean, we're all addicted to bodybuilding, and I know I'm addicted to gear because how I feel. I like how it feels. You know, I understand the consequence. I understand all of it, you know, from working at my clinics and stuff like that. But like, if you say you're not addicted to gear as a bodybuilder, you want to be bodybuilding because the shit's annoying.
But you can like something and be able to stop, right?
Well, we have to. Yes, there is yes, we are stopping one day, aren't we?
But some people don't. There's guys that go to Goes West Hollywood in their 60s who aren't cruising. They're blasting shit, like blasting gear, never stopping. There's a guy who's pretty well known at Gold's Venice. He blasts year round for the last. This is self-admittedly. He's not even hiding it. He's just open about it. And I'm talking about like the last 15 years. He's never done a cruise. Blast completely for the last 15 years. You know, and surprisingly, he actually looks really good. I'm not even gonna lie, but I don't know how. It's a miracle, but you don't want to. You don't.
Yeah, I would call that addiction. I know a guy that you said 7 years straight on trend.
This is crazy.
I'm like, what?
Could you even could you handle that? I don't think mentally I would be. I couldn't do it. I tried running trend off season. And I thought I was okay until I came off, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't me. I wasn't okay. You know, I was like, why am I so stressed out? What the fuck? I'm just like, something's off. I'm not feeling it. And I'm like, oh, that was a trend talking to me. There's voices in my head and shit. You're like, yo, this person, why they acting for you? I thought you was my friend. What the fuck? You're like, what the fuck? I was tripping off with some bullshit. What am I talking about? So,
but I feel like people get addicted to that part of it. Because like when I'm on it, I feel like I'm like in another place. Like I'm like And sometimes I'll be like, am I gonna come back to being normal, or like, because you're in another place at that last part, like at last 8 weeks of prep. It's like, man, you're different mentally, everything, and I feel like I'm just like inside my body. I'm not all the way there,
Now, there's parts of that have some benefits because the focus and drive, determination, even with work, sometimes I'm so focused. That part I like, but I don't want to be that stimulated all the time. It's not a good. I can't relax. I can't relax. I like to relax.
Yeah. So I can't wait to stop pitting. Like, I don't. I'm like, slam it in there and that's it. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't feel like I'm addicted to it. But I know maybe some other people are, but I don't get that euphoric feeling like I did when I was like 20. Like when I was on like high test at 20, I was like a champ. Now I'm just like, okay, regular. Like,
I think that's it. I think when we start off, there's a point where we're addicted to it at some point because I think in my 20s, at that time, I wouldn't have admitted it. But in hindsight, every time I come off, I just, oh my God, I just want to get back hard. Nowadays, bro, I can't wait to get off. I got to be honest. I look forward to the fucking cruise. I'm like, and if I'm being honest, even when I'm on, I'll be missing shots. I'm not. I know that's not hardcore and shit, but I'll be missing shots, bro. That shit, I don't. If I save it for the nighttime, I'm like, I'm laying down in bed. I'm like, fuck, should I get back up? I'm like, I'm not getting back up. But if I go from 1,000 to 750, am I gonna get smaller? I don't think so, bro. I think I'll be okay.
The timeline too
evens out.
Yeah.
If you go to bed and you do it the next morning, you're telling me 8 hours is gonna determine.
I don't think it makes a difference. And low key, like if I'm in prep like right now, I'll try to take a little bit more just in case if I miss. I'm like, yo, let me take if I take 1,500 and I even down to 1,250, that's a good dose right there. I'll be okay. Yeah, I said if I miss a shot, I'm down to 1,200. I'll take that. So I'm not gonna lie, but I definitely do that. Now there was in my early 20s, there was no missing shots. I looked forward to the shots. Not that nobody likes to pin, but I didn't mind it. It was just boom, 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 like nothing. And now it's it's kind of annoying. If I'm being honest, I don't like to pin. So,
well, I guess we'll all be getting that a new pressure pin.
yeah. Let me see if I can pull that out.
Run it.
No,
what is it
you
called?
think that's real? It's like an invisible shot.
It's like, how does that
It just uses pressure to put the oil in.
Is that
I don't even think I don't think that's possible.
Is that not gonna leave you a little swollen?
It's gonna
looks like there's no even fucking mark.
Hey, I think anything is possible nowadays. But that doesn't even make sense.
It can't be that much different than a shot.
But with no needle,
you gotta break the skin. You still gotta break the skin with some kind of force.
This guy shoots his front quad. This is the one I sent you. You just blast his front quad. Yeah. Imagine pinning yourself like that.
I'm trying to share without showing my DMs.
The freaky from the back DMs.
Well, but it's gonna show all my DMs on the side as well.
Yeah, don't do that.
DMs. I'm gonna scroll down to I scroll down to something kosher. All right, let's see. But I don't want to show our DMs either. Let me double check. Motherfuckers screenshot. All right, good. All right, cool. I can share this.
We don't say that bad. We don't say anything that bad.
No, we don't say anything bad. But in case we talking shit about somebody or something, you never know. But it's the first one. Yeah, it's just going in.
No.
Okay, let's see the other one. I don't really get how that could even happen.
That one.
But he's pressing that shit hard as fuck. I don't even think you got to do all that. I don't understand that.
Yeah, they're not selling it good.
They never explain
little ass legs.
They never explain how it works.
I mean, it's hard to believe the absorption is the same, but also that didn't look like a lot. If I got 3 cc's, because the way I like to do it, I like to have the whole 3 cc and go half and half. Yeah. I don't think I can do that with no pressure.
So you're like me. I can't do like I could like if let's just say you're doing 3 cc's, you just go one delt one time, the next delt. I need to split everything up besides my glutes.
Everything, yeah. I can't mentally. I can't handle that. If somebody just says 1 cc or one shoulder, I'm like, bro, what? I would rather do half and half.
Really?
But I can't just do one shoulder. I feel like this.
Yep.
In my head, I'm like, I'm here now. You know,
this has happened to me before, where I'm like talking swollen ass shoulder, like look like Quasimodo. You're like, what happened to you? I'm like, oh man, just bad shot.
I can't do it. I think maybe some people are scared of maybe infection, but you would have to, unless I'm pinning on one shoulder and I put the needle down and have a fucking phone call and pick it back up. But if I'm just going, you know when they give you Botox and they just pinning all over your fucking face with one needle, I don't think you're gonna get infections from shit like that, you know. And with the GH needle, but I reuse the same needle until that shit curls up, and then I go like this and I put that shit back in again. I keep it be no numbers on the fucking, the numbers disappear.
You just eyeing it.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. I'm like, this is 10 right
here.
The
whole thing.
The whole thing. This is 10. This is 20. I know this shit by I know this shit by
half ml, whole ml.
The whole shit be So that's just, I don't know why I do it. Needles aren't that expensive, but I just can't fathom using a brand new needle every day.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I'm just like anal about that. I don't want to get an infection. I just see people getting their stuff dug out. I'm just like, they're not that much,
Bro, Joe and Paul don't even use alcohol. They just raw dog their bitch, and they've never got an infection.
I need a little alcohol.
Me, I use alcohol. I kind of lather everything in alcohol.
Alcohol's not that much. It's like I didn't use alcohol and toilet paper, but I use like the 90 proof alcohol. And, it's like
I use the little square things.
Yep.
Sometimes I do that. I use the little square things on the vial, but on my shoulder, I'll take like a paper towel or something and slather that bitch on it and just put that shit in.
Wiping it down.
Yeah, like a fucking, like fucking lotion or something. Yeah. But when I used to go to Powerhouse in the Bronx, guys would shoot through like their pants. This is not even a joke. I'm like,
that's dirty.
You can't take your pants off. Like, why? I'm like, I can't give you like a well thought out reason why not, but why? I don't know. I'm sure it works. You don't get an infection, but why would you pin through your jeans? I want to take it off, man.
It's gonna get dull automatically. Then you're just mashing it in there.
Or what about you pin before you put your pants on? That's what I do usually. I don't get it, but I think everybody you'll see some strange shit when it comes to pinning. People do some strange shit. Definitely, if you're gonna reuse, like I don't reuse the gear needles. That's too much surface area. That I don't reuse. I'll reuse the syringes, but not the actual. The actual syringe. I'll just buy new needles. I'll keep the same syringe.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't get scared that oil kind of fucks up the rubber stopper?
What, the oil from where?
Oil from the gear?
No. Start eating away. He's wearing out his numbers. He worried about.
They don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna sponsor you on
the numbers in the gear now.
we have to make you a GoFundMe account for needles now too.
Yeah, fact. But sometimes
I'm gonna sponsor his needles.
But the shit sometimes be curled up like this.
No.
And then sometimes I'll put it, if the GH is already in it, sometimes I'm scared it's gonna fall off.
You're for real, for real.
I'm for real. I'll curl that bitch into my arm like this and then uncurl it.
Oh man.
I've been doing this shit too long. I'm losing that shit, bro.
We gotta put an Easter basket together for you.
I got stuck in there. You're gonna have to dig it out.
I think it's like a mental thing, bro. Because I used to get needles for free. My boy works at a hospital, and he would just give me needles for free, and I still did it because I'm like, even though it's free, I'm still using it, so I don't want to be like, hey, I need 100 more. It sounds weird. I don't want him to have to keep getting it, so I'm like, I'll be okay, you know. And I've since I've been doing this, I don't know how much I've been taking gear since I was 19. So, am I supposed to say that? Does that make me sound fucked up?
No, slightly.
That's pretty standard, right? Motherfuckers taking gear.
I mean, I took pro hormones in high school. I didn't even know what they were. You know, that's here. That's oral fucking steroids back in 2006, 2007. So when I was in high school.
We didn't know though, but we had a friend. Still have a friend. His name was Juice. Back in high school, his name was Juice. We were like, bro, there's no way he's natty. And I mean, technically by those standards, he was, but no, he wasn't because he was on pro hormones. But we didn't know that he had acne and all that shit. Then he didn't know, you know. But yeah, a lot of people I know started gear at 16. That's wild, but they seem fine. I mean. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying it's fine.
But half my football team in high school was on fucking pro hormones. We all used to go to this place called the Muscle Store.
Yeah.
And this dude used to be like, "Oh, here you go. This is good." There was mass tabs. Fucking bench went up 90 pounds in 1 month. I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to get like, you know? You don't know what you're doing. You get fucking pissing bright yellow. You're like, "Yeah, this is crazy."
But there was a dude in my high school. But I think he was like. I think homie was like 23, bro. I don't know how old he was, but he was a grown ass man, and he was obviously on juice, right? But we didn't know any better. So he was like, "Nah, I'm natural, bro. I just oatmeal, bro. Just oatmeal." And we were like, "Yeah." But after I started taking shit, and then I thought about the gym, she was like, "Yo, where you get your stuff from?" I'm like, "Oh," and he looks smaller now than he did in high school. I was like, "Oh, he was lying. That motherfucker was on juice the whole time." But he used to bench with the deans. He would cut class and go to fucking the weight room, and he was cool with the dean. Like, what's up? I'm like, "Hey, yo, you've been in here for like 2 periods already. What the fuck?" And he would work out with the fucking security. He was a grown man in high school, you know. But yeah, a lot of people would just lie in high school, and they would taking gear. I don't even know how you would get it honestly in high school, but. They were on it.
Yeah, I didn't have no money for that.
I didn't have the connections. I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
I
always thought I didn't need it for some reason. Like I'm like, I don't need that. Like,
well, because everybody told you were on steroids already, right? They were like, "Oh,
yeah." So I'm like, I don't need it.
But I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, "Yo, I'm skinny," and then people would be like, "Yo, nah, you taking some shit." And I'm like. I think I just look skinny, bro. You know, so
I remember my track coach asked me about it in high school because I was like, I always used to like pop off, you know, like, yeah. And he was like, I had to get my dad on. I'm like, man, he's saying I'm taking steroids, pops, like,
yeah.
And I didn't even know what those were back then. Like, you know, like I barely knew what creatine was, like.
Well, but at that time, in my head, I thought creatine was gonna get like. I didn't think creatine was steroids, but I thought it was gonna have steroid results. Like that's what I thought.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, me too. Yeah, because my brother he played football at Oregon State, and he's like, man, they got me on some creatine. My bench went up, and I'm just like, what is that? And it was just like some white powder. You know, it didn't mix that good back then, so it was like.
Yeah.
I'm not messing with that. It messed up my stomach, like because you know they had you loaded up.
Oh yeah, back then because they were trying to get your money. They would have you on 30 grams of creatine for the first week.
Shitting your brains out.
But those ads used to work. This is why I thought like these supplements was like steroids because I would see motherfuckers on the Muscle Tech ads. I'm like, oh shit, but you're a kid. You don't know marketing. So I'm like, oh, Johnny Jackson done fucking. That's what he did with the Mastec. I said, oh, and then I go to GNC and the guy he used to go to my high school. And he's on steroids, but I don't fucking know. I don't know he's on steroids. So I'm like, but what do you take? He like Muscle Tech. I'm like, yo, this dude is jacked. I'm looking at Johnny Jackson on the label. I'm looking at this dude I'm like, oh, I gotta take Mastec. So I'll spend all my money on Cell Tech, Mastec, and I will gain weight, right? Because well, you got 5 or 10
100
grams of
grams of sugar in that motherfucker.
bro. You know what I'm saying? So you take 2 scoops, you get 140 grams of sugar in the bitch.
Yeah,
with 10 grams of creatine.
Yeah, I would like at least 10 pounds up off the creatine.
Bro. So I was getting big as fuck, and I'm like, yo, this is steroids. I don't need fuck steroids. This is my steroids. And I was getting big. So that marketing, even though it's shady, I can't lie. That was good marketing, bro. That was great marketing.
It still works today.
It does. You ever have the natural clients hit you up like, yo, I heard about this test booster? Well, it got me crazy, bro. I paid about $180 test booster, bro. You see that? And I'm like, oh, I see it. You know, I'm seeing it. It's still they still getting people with the test boosters.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy too. Greg,
that's why I don't dabble with all that shit.
Or the Turk and stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard.
Okay,
I'm not too educated on it, so I don't really know. To be honest with you.
Me neither. Now, if you were, for obviously it's not gonna work for us, you know, but if you were like young and natural, I wonder if that would do anything. I would hope so, because he's selling that shit like crazy.
If it is actually hormone based, and if it does increase testosterone, probably would do something. I mean, DHEA alone, if you just took DHEA as a young kid, that would fuck. I don't like talking about this shit because then
do something.
Yeah,
people will go do it. Now
I don't like giving out information like that for younger kids to take.
Careful. Well, those young kids, they doing worse anyways.
These motherfuckers are blasting. They watch the Trend Twins, like, oh,
they did it. But I was gonna say with the Turk, what I was talking about, the Turk builder. Yeah, I feel like if you're natural, the thing is that you were gonna grow anyways, right? So if I'm 16 and I'm like, I heard ZMA and Tribulus, right? That was the shit back then.
Yes.
So I get my Tribulus, I get my ZMA. I'm like, yo, I'm feeling kind of hornier. I'm getting good pumps. Motherfucker, you 16. Of course you horny and getting pumps. Like, what the fuck else is gonna happen? I was getting that before I take it, but so it's hard to know if it's working or if it's just like you're gonna grow anyways. So I couldn't really tell, but it was like everything was working because your body's new, you know.
And placebo effect.
Yeah.
If you think it is, a lot of this is mental. So it's like, if you think about it, if you think it's going to get gains, you're going to get them because you're going to try a little bit harder.
But do y'all think that's a bad thing for kids to believe that these guys are natural and just take supplements, or it's a good thing?
No, I think it's a terrible thing, actually.
Okay.
Our fucking world is based off of lies. Everything we see is a lie. From the news to this to that. So everyone's just used to lying. And when people tell the truth, you're like, oh, I can't believe you said that. You're like, so I can't, you don't want me to be real? You just want me to be fucking fake?
Yeah.
You know? So these kids just seeing people that are fake natties. I mean, it's on them too. Like, if you don't want to say what you're taking and stuff, that's your own brand. You might have a contract with somebody that doesn't allow you to talk,
yeah. See, that's a tough one because me personally, I don't lie. If you're 15 in the gym and come up to me and be like, "What cycle you on?" First of all, I'm be like, "Who the fuck are you and why you feel you can ask me that?" But let's say if I know you, I'm not gonna lie to you, you know. But I feel like it helped me. Like me thinking that these guys were natural. I feel like if I knew they were on steroids, I probably would have been trying to get steroids earlier. You know? But what's earlier than 19? I don't know. But I probably would have been trying to get it like at 16. Realistically. Would that have helped me though? I don't think so. I think 19 for me was too early just because I wasn't on point. My training was I can't say that. My training was hard, but it was probably fucked up.
I mean, it's kind of no different than if you had a 16, 17, 18-year-old come up to you today. You wouldn't give them testosterone or anything else. You'd like put them on a diet, get them training hard, Let's see what you can actually do, and then go from there.
Exactly. And they definitely ask me, but a lot of them they'll be like, "Yeah, I want to do because this is the new thing, right? I want to do TRT," and it's like, bro, your test
So
levels are
just a low dose of testosterone, you mean?
Your nuts ain't even done growing yet.
Like
okay,
that
but huh? Like
Alex
who?
Eubank kid.
Yeah, he been on he been on site. This guy at the gym was telling me, bro, you know he's lying, right? And I'm like, I don't really care with all due respect. But then I actually got to know the guy, and he was like, yo, we grew up together. We trained together for years, and he showed me pictures. They used to make videos. I'm like, oh, and he's like, we both were on steroids way back then. And I'm like, yeah, I don't look like it with all due respect, but
Right,
but
right.
so I mean he realistically, if I didn't know this, I probably would have believed him. He looks natural. He still looks natural to me, but maybe we just have a different perception. I mean,
I feel like people say they're on TRT when they could just say I'm taking a small dose of testosterone. They're using TRT as like the fad.
I think they're using it to because they don't want to say natural, so they're using that like guy. I think guys are on cycles and
they'll say TRT because it makes them seem cooler.
Safer.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think all the above, right?
Yeah. But would it make you feel okay if you were talking to Samson and Samson was like, yeah, I'm on 2 grams of test, or if he said, I'm on 750 test, would you give a fuck either way? Would you respect him more or less? It doesn't matter. You how you look. I don't care how you got there. You're just there. So I respect how you look and the work you've done. I don't really care if you took more than me or less than me, right? And what if Nathan takes 400 tests? Does that mean I can look like Nathan on 400? No. So I think it's irrelevant. I don't think you get more respect for taking less. I think people think that. I think people think, well, if I downplay it, yeah, I think people think if I downplay it, people are going to say, wow, he has good genetics. But that undermines your work, if anything. Like you having better genetics doesn't make you better, or it makes you better on stage. But I'm saying it is nothing you did, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you were just born, so it's like we're trying to upplay our genetics, but it actually downplays your work because if you just so fucking blessed that you can look like that, then it doesn't really mean anything. So, right? I think it's weird that we think that it's gonna make people respect us more that we take less. I don't think it works that way. I think it's who cares?
Yeah.
Just be healthy. Just be healthy, you know. So and I don't think taking 800 versus 400 necessarily, or 400 instead of 800, makes you a ton more healthier. I think there's a lot of ways to stay healthy. Controlling your blood pressure is probably the most important way. Whether you're on 8 or 400, if you don't control your blood pressure, you're fucked either way, right? So it's not like dose dependent. Don't balloon up 50 pounds after a show, a week after a show, regardless if you're taking 4 or 800. So, you know, where it's like, it doesn't even, if you really break it down, it's all stupid. It's like nobody's getting any extra points by claiming this or that, you know? So,
yeah, they always think it's safer, but it's like, man, you gonna do drugs, like, you know.
I think when people say classic or men's physique is safer, I don't disagree. I think it can be because your weight doesn't have to get as heavy. But if you're not controlling, you know, you can be 190 pounds with really high blood pressure. But if you don't control your health, you can still be just as unhealthy. You know, but generally speaking, if you don't have to be 300 pounds and you could be 230, you should. I would hope you will be healthier. So, you know, that's what I would say about that. All right, let's talk about the show.
Oh man,
No.
start putting some lights together. You'll need a lighting package too.
Yeah, we're gonna do a fucking GoFundMe for the lights too.
And
My lights bad?
yeah, my God, I said the thing. I was like, hold on, where we at with these lights?
Oh, you talking about at the show?
Oh yeah, it was fucking bad.
I don't even tell. I can't tell about stuff like that.
I think just seeing Detroit though is gonna make
Yep.
it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Holy fuck! Look at his waist. Well, is that an illusion? Is his waist video, or is he just pushing it in?
I think he's
Pushing it
pushing,
in.
he's pushing
Well,
the
they-
front, right, Alyssa? Is
It's
Okay.
like pushing his waist in to make it appear smaller. Because look at it in that most muscular. It's not that small as it was in the lat spread.
Yeah, it's definitely like he has a great waist, but damn, he's really accentuating the hair. I gotta try that shit. Mush that bitch in like that.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That's the goal. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Where do I find this guy? Was impressive. I think he won, right? Yeah, I think he won. I hope he won, but I think he won. Yeah, he had the. Look at the chest triceps, bro.
No, you got a second.
Oh shit! Damn. Who
Who won?
he did. I like what he won. Me and Compton was talking about when you have huge glutes, it makes you look less aesthetic. But I guess now when you have a waist like this, he still looks aesthetic.
That's classic too.
Go back to that other picture. Like, take a mental note of that, and then go 2 over.
What the fuck?
Right?
Is that the same guy?
Yes,
It's like the lighting.
I think so. That was in the morning, I think.
Why does it look? Why does the condition look so different?
If you look at, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I
think the light show at the. I mean, I'm fucked up right now. The lighting at the night show was different than the prejudging.
That's strange.
I think so too.
That looks like a different person, unless he's not flexing.
Yeah, you're not flexing.
Oh, is this guy one? Yeah. Champ is champ. Let me see. I mean, he's bigger.
Yeah, he won.
You know, there's been like a
bodybuilders.
debate recently. Like a lot of people feel like classic. What the fuck?
That was me.
Can y'all hear me? Yeah, some people have been arguing that classic is becoming bodybuilding basically. Like the biggest, hardest guy is winning, and that's what it kind of looks like here. It looks like he looks like a bodybuilder, right?
Yeah, his legs do for sure.
I mean, I guess it works either way. Like, do you guys care which direction they go with that?
I mean, you're judging what's in front of you on that any given day. So, like if you put a Logan Franklin next to this guy, who would win?
Yeah. I feel like I gotta see them. Like seeing them by themselves, I prefer the other guy, but this guy looks so dense. He probably just was a lot bigger than him, and I guess that has to count for something still.
And I'm sure that black dude with the sick most muscular. Well, he looks good right there. So I don't know.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, he looks.
I mean, he's not really that much outside. I think this guy is sharper though. Still, he's in shape though, but I think he's sharper. It's hard to say. His glutes look a little more hamstrings. I don't know.
Yeah, I see why they gave him first, but I kind of preferred the black dude for Zeke better.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he fits the weight, I mean, he fits the criteria. So
This is true. Well, shout out to both of those guys. Okay. Now to the big boys. Let me go to comparison. Let me go to the singles. So first impression. Where's the single Andrew?
Go down. Go right to the right. Yeah.
There we go. What if it's finals? Same difference. What's your first impression of Andrew?
yeah, that's finals.
Huge.
Let me go prejudging because the judges said he was better at finals.
Yeah, he was super full.
Yeah, this was probably the biggest Andrew we've seen for sure. You know, it's hard. You can only compare his condition to the guys here because I was trying to compare his condition to like Texas, but the lighting is different, so we can't really know, right? We can't really know how he looked in comparison to Texas.
Like this, I don't know. This, I feel like, well, he looks great. It's just not what you would see on him, right?
I mean, definitely not in the shape he was at the Arnold.
Right.
But he definitely gave up some fullness at the Arnold. I prejudging that final. I think he was fuller.
Yeah, he's super full. This is. I would bring this look if I could.
Me personally, I think his physique looks better when he's full like this, but he's not in true bodybuilding shape, and that has to count for something. Like I like how this physique flows better when he's full, right? Because his legs are big and shit like that. At the Arnold, his sweep was a little down, but this condition wouldn't cut it at the Arnold.
You just, goddamn, it's like pushing.
It's crazy.
You see, like everything's just like fucking.
Yeah, like being there in Texas, it's like honestly when he comes out, it's like I usually would never say this, but it's almost like the condition didn't even matter. Like as far as he was more detailed in Texas, but like Jordan and I'm sorry, what's the other guy that got the guy that used to be 212, the guy that got third at that show,
Nathan
Epler. They were much harder than him still, even though he was more detailed in here. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter for a second. He was still winning every pose by a landslide. He's just like, it's different. When you see him in person standing there, you're like, this isn't fair. Like people were like laughing when he came out. Like, what the fuck is this? What are we looking at? And so a little less of the effect here because he wasn't as hard. But I would imagine the judges looking at him like, this is just ridiculous. That I still think even off that he couldn't lose this battle. You know,
Did he lose prejudging or no?
he did actually. He actually lost prejudging against us. But let's see the comparison.
I don't think he really lost prejudging. I think they just put it on the scorecards like that.
See, I didn't want to say that, but them scorecards, it just be looking like some shit sometimes, just random.
Yeah, look at that. Like, how? What are you talking about?
I don't think neither of them, the entire top three, I don't think they look much different at the finals. I gotta be honest with you.
But just look at this picture right here. Like, there's no way he's losing that.
No.
Look at it. It's not even close.
The discrepancy, the discrepancy between him and Sergio is huge. So look at the discrepancy between him and Sas. And Sas is my guy. I love Sas's physique, but it's just like it's like a different planet when you look at Andrew.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna dig in deep and the glutes and the hams, like this bodybuilding. Like,
did Sergio mess up his lat?
Something looks off with the something looks off with the back. He said his back didn't come back. He said he hadn't trained for a while and his legs came back, but his back didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, he had a shoulder problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like shoulder, and he wasn't able to train.
There's definitely some atrophy in his lower.
And one thing, and this is a posing thing and not a personal thing with Sergio, but anytime you kick your leg back, it's gonna shift your hips, and then it's gonna cause imbalances in the upper body. And he's kind of kicking his leg too far back.
Yeah, like
his right hip is higher than his left hip.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see that.
But that's something I've just noticed within my own posing and clients of mine, whatever. But if you're kicking your leg back, it's gonna throw off the balance of your hips, and then you're gonna lose a lat. And typically it's the lat that's like his right leg is kicked back and his left lat looks better than his right lat. So whatever leg you kick back, the opposite side of your body is going to look good, but the same side that you're kicking back on is going to get lost.
100%, 100%.
Yeah,
And another thing is that whether you're posing from the front or back, if your lower body, let's say if your legs are better than your upper body, you should probably try to avoid shooting your hips so far back, right? Because if you have atrophy in your low back and you shoot your hips out, it's gonna cave in even more, and your low back is gonna, right? It's gonna look even more shallow. Whereas Sergio has good legs, so is he getting more adductor by shooting his hips back? Yes, but I don't think it's a good trade-off because his back is down already. You know, does that make sense? I feel
I think that's why I'm shooting my legs back far and actually keep them closer, so I can. That actually helps me with my adductor, because if I shoot them back, they go back in, so I can keep them flexed.
exactly. And then we always talk about this, but the hips back, I just don't think it's a good look. Like, we all know why people do it, to show adductors, but I think the better way to do it is, if you see like Nick Walker or Regan Grimes hit like a back pose, they just don't overflex their glute. They barely flex it so that their hips aren't so forward that they get the thigh gap, right? It's like a light flex on the glute, and then they still show adductor, but they still show glute, right? And then they don't cave the lower back in, you know? So, yeah, I feel like his back did atrophy, but I still think this pose could look a lot better, you know.
For sure.
Yeah, sure. We could probably say that. I don't think Andrew has a crazy back, but he seems to be hitting it the best here, which usually we say he doesn't hit it as good. But in this pose, Sauce is kind of crunching up a little too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I just posed a client and I was teaching him something on the rear double, and it's like, if you're in your rear relaxed and your legs are big, your glutes are shredded, you basically want to keep that same positioning and just kick a leg out to the side versus back to keep that symmetry and size and detail, versus backs out versus back.
Exactly. That's why Alicia is a good posing coach. I think a lot of posing coaches now, I think they want you to feel like you got your money's worth, or they want to teach you a lot, right? And a lot of times in posing, less is more. I think when you're doing too much, right, you're squeezing this and you're pushing this out and you're shifting this, I think it starts to look awkward and maybe look worse, not better. Whereas what you just said, just keep it as is. If you in shape, you're gonna be in shape. You don't have to do so much changing in like your position and flexing so hard to look good, right? You know, so some of the best poses flex the least, actually.
Like, see Sergio's legs there? That looks better.
It looks way better. That
looks way better.
Yeah.
And one more thing, just because it's on my mind. So what I would tell him is, and I'm not going to, but what I would is, he's kicking his left leg back on the rear lat spread where his legs look more ideal. And on the rear double, he's kicking his right leg back. Yeah. Why are you switching legs? Your right leg back makes everything thrown off. I would keep the rear double with the left leg back how he is in the rear lat spread.
Sure.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, why switch legs? Like, shouldn't you find the best pose, right? You don't have to switch it.
Find your good side, your strong side. And I mean, Samson, he does the same thing. He switches legs, and one, I don't know which side, but when he's kicking one of his legs back versus the other, it looks better.
Yeah. So this is the thing, less is more, right? Some people do the side tricep and side chest on a different side, but once you find your best leg, that's it. You don't have to change anything. You know? If you ever see Andrew pose, he's barely posing. I don't even think he's flexing. Which sometimes he's too nonchalant, but generally speaking, like I said, less is more. And Andrew seems to be outposing them in some of these poses, which is usually not what happens. But I think because he's just so calm He's not overthinking it. He's just hitting the pose and then moving on. And it actually looks better because he's not overemphasizing anything. He's just up there. I just hit a pose. He's so just chilling. I'm just hit his pose.
Yeah, it doesn't look forced.
Exactly. Now his side poses are getting better, right? Because at one point, Andrew's side poses weren't good.
Yeah, his arm used to be hella bent.
Yeah. Where's the side chest? The side chest got better too. Yeah. I mean, does anybody have any of the placings different than the results?
Mm-mm.
Any objections?
No, they got it right.
So too. Yeah. Now, what do y'all think of Sass's potential moving forward?
I think he has very good potential.
No.
I think he has a strong season under his belt already, and he could get to the Olympia potentially even better and make a good splash, maybe top 8.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So Sass is he's actually gonna be on Wednesday. So if anybody got questions for Sass, make sure you hop on.
I'm scared.
He seems he's like a super humble person, like almost too humble. Like he's like super humble.
Yeah, if he could bring his arms up.
I feel like that's going to be hard. I feel like that's going to be hard to do because everybody ages differently. Sass is almost 40, I believe. And most people start to lose like their sweeps or legs. His legs look like they're getting bigger. But some people actually do lose. You see how Ramy, his triceps kind of faded, right? Like Bonak's legs are actually bigger, but like if you see Bonak's arm, they're a little bit flatter. I think with age, some people's like either it's like the legs start to go or the arms start to go. And I think Sass's arms were a little bit bigger. I think he's a better bodybuilder now though. But I feel like his arms have atrophied a little bit, if you notice a bit.
Yeah, that's the only thing I see like that's noticeable to me. Everything else looks pretty decent. I mean, he could more density to the back and bigger arms. That's the only thing. I think his chest maybe a little bit, but
check this out, right?
It's pretty complete.
You notice that it's like in the transitions is where his arms look small, but once he locks in the pose, you notice when he's in the poses, right? They look good enough, right? Like look at the last spread, boom.
I think he gets exposed in the front double.
Yeah, in the front of Bob, I'll say that.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
because it looks kind of weird. Like they're like, to me, it looks super small.
Yeah,
especially next to Andrew. I was like,
okay, look at the side chest, right? It don't look bad in the side chest, but like I feel like anytime, like even here, it actually doesn't look. Obviously, it don't look like Andrew's, but when he's like transitioning, is where I notice where I notice it the most.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's posing it good on those side ones. He's squeezing it.
Yeah. It's like kind of like the Bumstead thing. Bumstead's arms were a weak point, but in the poses, you're like, you know what? Kind of works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, his back poses actually look better by himself. I noticed too. But good job, Sass. Sass looks good.
Yeah, that was a good comeback.
Yeah. That's shit.
The last 2 showings.
I mean, have we ever seen anybody take 7 years off and come back better? I don't know if we ever seen that before. Usually don't get better. You know, as a pro, people have like Tony Freeman, Sean Road. People have taken hiatus as an amateur, but as a pro, I don't think we've ever seen anybody take that long off and come back better. What do y'all think of Sergio's package and where it ranks like in his all-time packages?
I think he's finding his groove with his new coach. Got to test run it. I don't think it's a horrible showing at all. I think it's a good showing for him.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was at the Cow a couple years ago, he was way more dense than this. Like, I don't know if they like dieted too hard because he's been off so long, but he looked way different to me at this show. I was surprised.
So he said he lost some muscle and put it back on. I think that's what it kind of looked like because it's not like you don't look at him and be like, yo, he's soft, or like, yo, he's small, but like he also doesn't look big or hard, right? It's like he doesn't look big and hard, but he doesn't look soft and small. So what it kind of looks like is somebody who lost tissue and kind of gained it back. So when he dieted down, he didn't look as dense. I think that's the best way to put it. Would y'all agree?
Yeah. Like the muscles are kind of baggy to me. Like,
because
I don't know.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Nate, because I was like sitting here. I'm like, I don't want to be this person because I haven't really watched his career, to be really honest with you. So I have like no like checkpoints, but that's what I was thinking. Like a little, I wouldn't say older, but just like, would you say saggier?
I said baggy, but
baggy, yes,
loose fit muscle. Like,
yes, I'm just trying to.
It's just not pressing against the skin. He's flat. It's just like flat. Yeah. Like compared to Sergio, like he was like super thick, like ridiculous when I seen him last time. So I'm like, I don't know. Well, it almost looks like he's like the gear dose ain't right, but I'm sure it is.
When he used to, let's say, if he would come in flat before, like let's say he does Chicago and he's flat. When he was flat before, he would be peeled and flat, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas here he's looks flat, but then he's not peeled. So, like you said, it looks like he's not pressing against the skin, which usually is what happens when you have some atrophy, like some muscle loss. I think he just didn't gain the muscle that he lost yet. You know,
he was with Fawcett Outlaw, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Seems like everyone's going to him.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're gonna see people start to leave him, not necessarily because he's not doing a good job. But I think he's a really good coach. But I think he has too many guys, and you can't say, well, no, he's autistic, so he can coach 100 guys. Like, well, it doesn't work that way, you know. Because a lot of people are saying that they're like, no, it's different with him because he's autistic. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, how would that equate? You know, there's always too much is different for different people, but everybody can have too much guys, and it doesn't mean they can't handle it. But how much attention can you give to everybody? Like this, you're not gonna say you can say this, but you can't give the top 10 Olympians. You can't give the people outside the top 10 Olympians the same attention as you would. You know, it's like you're gonna, if they're all here in the hotel room, you're gonna give Martin more attention than you're gonna give this guy. I mean, it is what it is. It's human nature. So I think once you start pushing 60, 70, 100 guys, I don't think anything positive is going to come out of that.
I always think about this with coaches. Like, how do you really, let's say you had 50, I don't know, maybe exaggerate, 50 top guys across the board, not just bodybuilding, but all over, right? The way he treats everyone is like he knows everyone's body. Like, you don't know everyone's body. You're dealing with 50 fucking people. Like, you can't, unless you're keeping detailed notes, I don't think you can hold that shit together. I think you could do it for 10 people.
I think if you're somebody who primarily coaches amateurs like Blue, I think you can pull off. Blue doesn't go to any shows. Blue is very direct. Blue isn't a handholder. If you work with top pros, a lot of them do want more of handholding. So you work a lot of top pros, there's zero chance you're going to work with 100 guys and give them all the same attention. I've seen amateur coaches do it, right? When they're grinding, like early on, especially when they're grinding and they just everything is work. They're fucking sick. They barely get out of bed. But if you're traveling to every show, working with top guys, bro, you get 5 top pros. You can barely handle more than that. Like, let's be real. Like, there's a reason why Hani only coaches a little bit of guys. So once you start getting to that point, and I've seen it happen with coaches in the past, what happens is if they tell you they have 100 clients, they're gonna start to let's just say what it is. They're gonna start to allocate that to other people to coach them, whether they tell you or not. They might tell you eventually, but that's usually what happens. I'm not accusing Boss of doing that because I don't know what he does, but usually you've seen it happen a lot of times. That's what happens usually. You bite off more than you can chew, and then you may have to allocate your amateurs and lower level guys to like an assistant, And if you do, you should tell them though. But everybody doesn't do that, So, Sean Clarita recently left. I'm just trying to.
Well, I was reading the comments on that post, and I don't think he left Boss. I think he's just training. Like, his training protocols are being done by John Jewett. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Like when he did that with
Matt.
Yeah, he was being coached by Matt, and then, or was it the other way around? It was one. He was doing Mountain Dog. I think Mountain Dog training and Jansen coaching. But it might have started off the other way. It might have started off Mountain Dog coaching and Jansen. Don't quote me, but he was doing that kind of split, like training and coaching from two different coaches. So that makes sense too. All right, let me make sure we covered everything.
When you say the pros want more hand holding, like what type of hand holding do they want?
I mean, sometimes literally just battling for attention. Like, there's pros that'll tell a coach, "I don't want you working with any open guys," just straight up, And other than that, it's like, let's say you're at a show and everybody's at the hotel. There's guys that they want you in their room watching them before and after every meal, even though you got 10 other guys you have to do that to. So they'll feel some kind of way if you're spending more time at this room than their room, per se, right? He gets a little chippy, And then there's guys who don't give a fuck. Like, they're like, "I don't care, go do what you got to do, feed your family, But,
yeah. So I was wondering, like, what am I not doing? Like, what do I need to do more? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I feel like when a coach sends me an update, like, I usually don't say anything back. Like, I just be like, thank you. Like, like, aren't you just supposed to implement it? So it's like, what else? Like, I'm just like during the prep, like, how much? Like, I probably don't give enough feedback, but I'm just like, I feel like my feedback is my weight and my update photos. Like, like,
I know what you mean.
So.
That's kind of the way I prefer it for myself and when I work with clients. But some people want compliments. Some people want them to tell you every week, "Hey, you look good." That I would feel weird. If my coach said that to me, I would feel weird. Like every single week, because I don't feel like I look good. First of all, and I couldn't say that to even if they look good, I would just be happy. Like, I don't really say a lot of compliments neither. I just to my friends, I do.
Yeah, then they gonna fuck it up. Like,
exactly my point.
Oh, I look good now. I can eat something else. Like,
yeah. To my friends, if y'all send me updates and y'all look good, I'm like, "Oh, you look crazy." But to my clients, I almost don't want to tell them that. I want them to stay locked in. I don't want to tell them, "Oh yeah,
you okay?"
I'm good. Okay. About to go to that party.
Yeah. Follow the plan.
I didn't want to do that.
But yeah, I was always wondering that. Like, well, maybe I need to say more stuff back to my coach, like to give more information. But I feel like it's really basic what we do, and I feel like people kind of like make it more complicated than what it is.
100%. Yeah, it goes full circle. You start bodybuilding simple, then you get too complicated. Then you gotta bring it back down, back to the basics, and you be like, "You know what? It was this simple all along." You overdid it yourself.
Yeah, well, I look at my coach, what me and my coach have is a business, and I like if there's feedback he needs to know, I tell him. I keep it short, sweet. and our conversations are like 3 messages back and forth, if that.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
if you know what you're doing and you know what's got to be done, you just need the plan. Like Nate said, just get the plan, implement it, check in again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not sitting there telling the coach my personal problems and shit.
Some people are.
And some people want to be like family with their coach and teammates, and that's when shit goes south. Like this is a business.
Well,
This
it
isn't a
does.
fucking.
So okay, so from what I heard, Hani likes to know what's going on in your life, right? Because he wants to know what kind of stresses you're going through and manage your stress. I get why he does that because he feels like it could impact it, but then it makes it something tighter, right? Like you said, they start feeling like family and shit. So what happened is I don't know if you guys caught the seminar with Derek at the Arnold that he was upset. He was like, "This is somebody I considered family," and he just said he's not doing this anymore. You can tell Derek is hurt. He's like, "It's like my family," and that's the thing though. Like Hani is probably like, I'm a coach. Like with all due respect, like I'm a coach, bro. I don't want to coach anymore. But because Hani wants to get in your head. He wants to know what's going on. What's the family? What I think Derek is like. Well, you like my brother. Like why? How could you just leave? But well, he's been doing this shit for like 25 years, bro. The man needs a break. Shit. Yeah, you need to, but that's kind of the downside of that. The positive is that Derek looked his best. Hani was able to bring him to the best. The downside is now he felt like maybe betrayed by Hani. Like you just gonna up and leave me at my prime. So it's like that's the trade off you kind of have to get. So if you would have just left the business, maybe how you doing, then I don't think he would have felt this way. But it seems like he feels a kind of way about Honey leaving. you know. But hey, but you also have to respect people's decisions, man. You gotta. He wants to focus on his family. I don't think you could never knock somebody for that.
Yeah. You don't want to change that decision. Like if they already come to you with that, it's like they're not going to be in it if you're going to try to change it. Like, yeah.
And when it comes to friends, clients, family, I'll never try to convince somebody to not go where their gut is at. Right? If a client comes to me, which has happened plenty of times, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I think I want to retire. And they usually give a reason. I'm not able to do this with my family. Or that. I'm never the guy that's gonna be like, bro, you're so close to the car. Just do it. Do what the fuck you got to do. I'm always gonna support it. Yo, you know what? I feel that great decision, right? Like, I don't think it's for us to say that kind of shit. So I'm always gonna show the love. Yo, I don't give a fuck if you compete or not. I think you a great guy. Keep doing what you're doing. Take care of your family. Simple as that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I'm gonna run.
Oh yeah.
Let you know.
Do your thing, DT. All right, Chance.
See you guys. Enjoy your weekend, okay?
All right, brother.
Have a good one.
All right. Oh, I'm looking at this by myself. Hold up. Let's see if we got anything else, and then if not, do some questions and get up out of here. Nick, did he post any updates recently?
Yeah, in his basement, parents' basement.
You just did one maybe today.
Oh no,
Just 2 days. Oh, let's go. Look at back in the parents' place. His condition. I noticed this is angle. I don't know who's taking this photo, but it looked like it was zoomed out or in, and also it looks high for some reason.
probably his mom taking it.
That's all I was thinking.
She must be holding the phone high, because you see the angle, right? It looks like he's leaning forward like that.
Yeah.
Because I saw a video and somebody like his legs look smaller than usual, and I actually think his sweeps look better, but I think for the perception of the video is warped a little bit. It's a little off. But Nick doesn't give a fuck about that shit. Nick is not looking for good lighting. He doesn't care how he looks, and he just posts that shit. But his condition sped up a lot, right? Because he started prep on the chunky side for Nick. Nick usually doesn't get that heavy, but he came down quite a bit. Looks good to me.
Yeah, he's still pretty heavy though, isn't he?
Yeah, you know, he's the
He like 280, 270, 75 or something.
But honestly, we've never, bro. The guy's 5'7", bro. We've never seen a 5'7" person be this lean with that much weight. That is honestly doesn't even make sense. Like
Yeah.
I think he's like, I think I saw on the podcast like 278 or something like that.
How much did he weigh at New York last year?
He was in the 260s, bro.
But he was big. he was huge.
That's insane. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. Like,
So on the stage, he's gonna look if he's still on this, he's gonna be similar weight probably.
yeah, I think he's gonna be like drier. I think he was lean in New York. I think he looked like he had like he wasn't dry though. Like he was a little on a for Nick. He wasn't like, I don't think as hard as usual though.
Nah, he was like super full, and his abs were a little bit too full.
Yeah, you can't have that. Yeah, for Nick, he can't have that. But you guys think he could win Pittsburgh? You think that's a possibility?
I think he's gonna get second.
I think so. Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's gonna be Derek, Nick, Martin.
Martin is phenomenal, but Nick did beat Martin at the time. Martin's best, and one of Nick's not so best.
Yep.
And he still won. So that's like,
yeah, I felt it was closer because I was re-looking at those pictures. I was like, Martin's back. Like, I don't like how the detail in his back compared to Nick's, but the density was like he was matching him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if he has any improvements on his back, I don't see that many improvements to Nick's back compared to previous years. It looks similar to me. So I think he might be able to get him.
Martin got this weird thing.
Where did I just see that? I just seen it like recently.
Who that?
The New York, their backs together. Martin and Nick.
Martin got this weird thing that when he's not flexing hard, like when I saw Rolly compete at New York, I felt the same way. Rolly standing there relaxed or not posing hard, they don't look that hard. But then Martin gets into the pose hard, and you're like, holy fuck, he's shredded, right? Whereas Nick standing there, you could see all his detail just barely even posing, right? And I think that works against Martin slightly because even when he posts pics like 2 weeks out, like you'll see in the comments, oh, he's not hard enough. I'm like, but if you think Martin's not going to be in shape, you fucking crazy, you know? But I get what they just don't have the experience to understand it. But I get what they're saying. He has like a round, bubbly look, but he doesn't have crazy detail just genetically. He's fat free, right? Like Martin is fat free. Martin is not holding body fat anywhere. But genetically, he's not super detailed. He's like round and bubbly and in shape. Does that make sense? Let me see if I can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's. I don't think I've seen him flat. Like he's like full.
Where can I find this? I'm gonna try to find it. Hold up. Because at New York, like Nick Martin standing there, and you see Nick got all quad veins and all over, and then Martin, you don't see that. Then he hits the fucking thigh, and you're like, bro, his legs are actually more peeled than Nick, but you can't see it unless he's hitting that quad hard, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that plays against Martin slightly. It's not his fault. It's just I think that's just genetics. Martin, he's supposed to name Martin versus Nick, New York, I guess. Find that.
Yeah.
Because that's something I noticed, and it makes Nick look leaner and Martin not as lean, even though reality. Martin was probably leaner than Nick at that show. Okay. Let me see a good comparison. Okay. Can y'all see this actually?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look at Nick. You see Nick's legs, right? His legs look like all this crazy detail, and then you look at Martin, you're like, well, Why doesn't this look at detail? But if you, this is not that clear. But if you look at his quad right here, it's fucking feathered. You know, just because he's hitting this particular quad super hard, and this not so much. So it makes his legs look not as lean as Nick's, but it is though. You know,
Mhm.
So that's genetic or conditioning or peaking or what?
I think Martin is peeled. I don't think Martin has never had fat on his body on stage. I think he has more new muscle probably than Nick. First of all, I think he has to focus on probably posing it harder. But I do think a big part of it is genetics. You know, because I don't think Nick is posing hard. I think that's just how Nick's detail look. Nick not posing, just standing there versus posing is not a huge difference. Whereas Martin standing there versus posing is night and day. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, and in person is probably like way different too. I feel like he doesn't show as much conditioning on the photos, but in person, everybody's like it's not even close. Martin shredded.
That's what Tyler said too. Tyler, I think you got New York Olympia said Martin looked. No, I think it was the Olympia. He said Martin was the most peeled guy on the stage. You know?
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't translate as much. But Alyssa, do you think there's something he can do to bring out more even though it is genetic, right? But do you think there's something he can do to appear a little more detailed?
I don't think he's doing anything wrong. I think it comes down to genetics. Like some people just have that freaky vascularity when they're just chilling, and some people don't.
This is true. This is true. Yeah, and that's what
They both train hard as fuck, and if anything, Martin trains harder.
Yeah, he trained really hard.
Yeah, Martin goes in. Yeah, so I think that's just one of those things that it kind of is what it is. It doesn't mean that obviously doesn't Martin is top 4 in the world, right? So it's not like so much that it's gonna stop him from doing that, but it does play a part to some extent. If Martin just looked like that, just standing there, I think he would have won that show. I think he would have won the show. I think he posted update. Okay. This is 8 weeks out though. But even here, you can kind of see it. Like for 8 weeks out, he's actually really lean, but he's so fucking round and full. It's kind of stupid. Yeah. Does this remind anybody of Compton? Like Prime Compton? I think he's the closest thing we've seen to that look. You know.
Yeah, I don't know because Compton's arms are just like ridiculous. That's all. Like when I think of Compton, I just think of like this crazy arms.
Compton's arms are stupid. Yeah, I think mine is a little more bottom heavy, and I can't call Compton top heavy, but shit, his arms are stupid. Stupid.
It was just like cartoon.
Yeah. But Compton had the same thing. Compton would be fat free, but Compton didn't have crazy detail unless he was unless he was actually flexing that part super hard. But let me see if we can see the similarities. I want to get Prime Compton.
Yeah, that one.
Yes, got some similarities.
You see the similarities, right?
Like that is stupid. Those arms and shoulders is like.
You know, he would have had to stop training arms and shoulders. At this point, that's all you can look at. You're not even looking at the rest of his body. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Look at that picture of him curling in the top left. That was ridiculous. That one. That's crazy.
His arms are crazy. But yeah, okay, so he's really fucking lean here, right? But you see what I mean? Like, it's not a crazy amount of detail, even though you know there's no body fat on his body. So that's kind of the similar thing. When you have crazy round muscle bellies like that, I think sometimes that's just what it is. You know?
And I feel like if you're trying to reach like a certain level of detail that you're referring to, that's when you're going to lose body parts.
100%, you know. But what Compton told me is that our last podcast, one of the questions was, "Have you ever competed flat?" Compton said nobody will believe this. I was flat every fucking time I stepped on stage on purpose because he knows that his body. He said when he carbs up, he has zero detail. No matter how lean he is, zero detail. But Boss of Outlaw pushes fullness. You know he has Martin eating so much food before the show, right? You think if he maybe didn't push fullness as hard, Martin would actually look even more detailed, possibly. That's
Yeah, but
it's
he's
a give
not
and
gonna
a
be
take.
big enough. Yeah.
But what he loses from the fullness, let's say if you sat next to Nick and he's 8 pounds lighter, is that a good trade off? I don't know. I don't know if it is. You know.
Yeah, I would go to full. I mean, if he's super full already and they're saying he's most conditioned, I mean, like
Hey, good
he
point.
already he's locked in.
If I'm being honest, I think Martin probably had the best peak at the Olympia out of everybody. Not even probably. I mean, it definitely wasn't the top three. I think they were actually off their peak by quite a bit, if I'm being honest. Yeah. So Martin, yeah,
I need one of those.
yeah, Martin peaks the shit out here. So
I don't think I ever had a peak like that.
I don't think I ever had a peak period.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
I look worse after the peak than I did fucking 2 weeks out. But you know, Dennis has been on record saying that he stopped peaking, he stopped depleting, and he stopped carbon up. He said that how he looked, he would continue to eat like that until he stepped on stage. When he started coaching himself, and he said that was his best look, you know, because think about who he worked with. He worked with Chad and Milos. Motherfuckers is depleting and loading and potassium and insulin, and the motherfuckers like, boy, I'm tired of this shit, bro. I just want to fucking compete, there. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I can see him because he was already huge. So it's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, because remember, Dennis would be like super flat or like super fucking full and spilled. Like it was always so much. So he was like, "Yo, let's just relax here. And he would just step on stage like later in his career, and he was on every time, you know, because he's in shape, you know. So
that's how Blue used to do me. I'd be like waiting for something, and it's like we still eating the same shit all week. They're like, dang, we gotta throw a little bit more carbs in here.
that might be the way sometimes, man.
Yeah, I get it though. I get it. I mean, if your look is already there, it's like, and you already got the protocol for that look. Like, why are you changing it? Like,
exactly.
Gambling now.
We've been on 2 hours. It didn't feel like it must have been the fucking kratom. I felt like because I didn't notice you've been on that long. All right, let's do like 2 questions. You're cool.
Let's get it.
Yeah, I gotta go hit some legs.
Why are bodybuilding fans never happy? When it goes condition, people complain they want shape, but when it goes shape, people complain they want condition.
People don't know how to appreciate anything anymore.
This goes for everything.
They weren't able to appreciate Phil Heath when he won 8 times in a row, and now that his career is over, I feel like they have more appreciation for him. It's just the simple concept of they don't appreciate.
I think people don't appreciate what they have, right? No matter what it is, because the problem is never the direction. The problem is that there needs to be a problem, right? So it's like when Dorian would win. Why can't Sean Ray and Kevin win? Well, Dorian's bigger and harder. Yeah, but look at their shape, right? Right? How much you want to bet if Sean Ray was winning? They would be like, look how small he is. What the fuck? Look how much bigger there's no way out, right? If imagine if Sas would have won. What? Do you fucking see Andrew? Look at this man. So I don't think I think no matter what you go, you're gonna have 50% of people not like it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean it's subjective, so whatever flavor you like.
But I'll say us maybe because we compete, we're a little more level-headed. We're like, I agree Andrew won, right? But let's say if Sas won, I would have been like, based off of what? And then they'll Tyler would say, well, condition, Andrew was more often. I'll be like, I could see that, right? I think we're more level headed that we could see it, even if we don't necessarily, we wouldn't have judged that way, right? We could, there's different judges, they're split too, but we could respect it and understand that why it went, why it goes. I prefer Sean Ray and Kevin Levroni's physique over Dorian, but then I'm like, yeah, but Dorian was a lot more peeled and bigger, so it's cool. Either way,
yeah, I think the people that go all out conditioning, like it's typically people that have like bodies that aren't pleasing.
Well, the thing about it, think about who you see. This is true. Who you see disagreeing with the results. It's always the person that their bodies reflect the person who didn't win.
Right?
So if you have a shorter guy, they're gonna be like, Derek should have won that one. Then you got a fucking a tall, big guy with good shape. Samson. It's like
because people were salty over Andrew winning, and I'm just like, to me it wasn't close, but I'm not all out conditioning.
Yeah.
Like people just if you don't have glutes and hams like dug out, like people don't even want to judge you nowadays. It's like, and then the rest of your body is horrendous, and they talking about bring bodybuilding back. Like,
yeah. I think there's a limit, right? It's like I agree, Lunsford beating Samson this year, but that's because Lunsford got crazy shape too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Lunsford he's short, but okay. So you look at Andrew next to Size versus Derek next to Samson. It's different. Derek is big. Like, I don't care if he's short. He's actually structurally wider than Samson, structurally.
Yeah, like Derek's muscularity is through the roof for his structure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he has a tiny waist in those shots, in the front shots. So that's different. So I could see, I'll be like, well, yeah, he was so much more peeled, and he has these other advantages. So you weigh it out, right? You got the muscularity, you got the condition, you got the structure and symmetry and shit. So
I feel like conditioning doesn't really take any skill. Like, I mean, anybody could get shredded, but you might not look how you're supposed to look. But I mean, anybody could get peeled. Yeah, but you might not have no muscle left. You might just be skin and bones. And that's how people they want people to take their body down like that. It's like, that will ruin his physique. Because when Andrew came in super peeled out, everybody was complaining.
I don't like that look, bro. I got to be honest with you. I don't think it looks good. I think it's a balance. Everybody finds that balance, but your most peeled look, I don't think is the best look for everybody. If Sas was in that condition and Andrew was in that condition he was in, and Sas was 10 pounds bigger, then now we got a different. Potentially we got a different. If he has the muscularity to stand next to him,
Yeah, but I mean, it's subjective, like probably because I'm more shapely. That's why I like to shape guys. But I'm not blown out like Andrew. I'm like, I don't got that muscularity,
which is crazy. Yeah. But what was the question? Yeah,
conditioning versus
complaints are always going to happen. But another thing I noticed is when people think the judges change the criteria all the time, when the truth is, I think the fans change the criteria more than the judges. I think the judges going by what they see. If this is the thing, if the shape guy has the muscularity and condition, well, then the shape guy wins every time. It's just that most of the times we just don't see the shape guy build enough muscularity and have the condition, right? So usually what happens is we'll see the shape guy, he's maybe smaller and softer. Then we have a guy who's just peeled inside out but has horrible shape, right? Then you have a guy that's kind of like, wait, this guy's shape is pretty good. He's really muscular, maybe not as muscular as this guy, and he has crazy condition. So he meets all those criteria and then he wins, right? So it's not one extreme, but that doesn't mean the same kind of physique wins every time. So anytime people see a physique that looks different wins, they think the judges just completely changed their mind. And it's like, no, it's just that day, this is what happened. Derek and Heidi were off. Samson was his best. No, he wasn't peeled, but good enough to beat off versions of them. That's it. I don't think it's that complicated. It's just who showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shape is always a plus, but you still have to be muscular and shredded. That's it. I think that's as simple as it gets. All right, last one. There's a lot of did Sass deserve to win question.
Sass gonna win the show.
Yeah. Let's see.
Somebody said he might do Spain.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I think it's Sergio said that. I think I heard Sergio.
This is a good one. Sass versus Good Vito. Damn, I gotta really think. I gotta think about that actually.
I honestly would choose Good Vito. He's bigger.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not even to me. It's
really
Vito's legs, his arms,
conditioning.
Yeah,
I think
it would probably be similar.
Yeah,
I think like a good Vito. I just think this last show, I think purposely he didn't bring like his 100% conditioning, right? And Sass did. I think these looks is very close comparable, but like the Vito we saw like let's say at Detroit last year versus Sass, I would have to give it to Vito. I think Vito almost beat Martin. Wasn't it like a one point decision? So Vito is that guy, and Martin beat Andrew. So we're talking about Vito can potentially be top 6 guy his first time out. Who was 6, please? At the Olympia? Hunter?
Or I don't remember.
Curry? No, Curry wasn't there. It was Andrew was 5th and 6th. Yeah, Hunter, I think. Hunter was 6th, I think. Or 7th. Damn, we gotta do it. Well, let's say that year. We're talking about Hunter, Brandao, kind of Curry, Bonac kind of area, right? I think Vito can be top 6 his first time out, which is tough in this lineup. So I'm gonna have to, because I don't think Sass is a top 6 Olympian right now.
Yeah, Hunter was after Andrew.
Yeah, that's one of those. That's one of those things. All right, last one. Well, that's a. Who do you think would win between Hunter and Vito? The best version of all of them.
Hunter.
What do you think, Nate?
That would be a close.
I think it'll be close though.
Yeah, it'd be really close, but I think Vito.
You think Vito?
Yeah, just I feel like Vito is like a little bit more consistent because Hunter comes with that watery look often. So
I think Vito had a better physique. I think Hunter is just so fucking big right now, and conditioned enough. But if he's not the way he looked last year, I think he could beat Vito. But the way he looked in previous years, I don't know if that could be Vito.
I think he's not competing this year, is he? Or he's the end of the season maybe, because they said something about he was going to get something done with his shoulder.
Yeah, that he's been putting it off. Yeah, he might not.
I mean, he didn't look that big when I seen him.
Yeah,
I seen him when he was out here for that gas thing.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He was. Yeah, you're right. I think the best possible 100% Hunter would beat 100% Vito. I just think there's a much better chance of Vito being 100% than Hunter. Just track record wise.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because Aceto's working with. I feel like Aceto like is on fire right now with his guys. Like he's locking it. Like he's trying to prove something.
He rolling. I'm about to hire Aceto. Hey, go fund me for Aceto.
Some guys he turns that look like nothing. Like,
Bro, yeah.
they like super fat before they start prep, and I'm just like, how do they?
But it's like magic. He a lot of times he does like short preps, like a 12-week prep with people, and he pulls some shit out of his ass because I'm like, how do you? And from what I've seen, his programs and shit, bro, is so basic. Sometimes he doesn't even talk about steroids until you bring it up. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck he does it. I think it's just like a experience thing. He just gets it. And people be you'll get a guy here about burgers. I'm like, why would I have a burger, bro? I'm not even in shit. Oh, just burger. He just be doing shit, and the motherfuckers be on stage perfect. I'm like, it almost doesn't make sense. And some people because it's hard to believe. So some people get creeped out, like, what the fuck is he doing? And they'll just leave him. But if you don't leave him, he's gonna fucking bring you in. It's just hard to understand why he does what he does. I don't give a fuck why you do it. if you get the results, that's not like,
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I don't care about
I'm impressed. I feel like he's like not linear with his preps, like, and I think that's a good thing because a lot of times we're in prep, we're just trying to get down, but I think he knows where to put the brakes on, in the middle of the prep, and get the fatigue off you, and then go again, and he's good at going back and forth like that.
The timing. I think a lot of people are nervous that they want to make sure you're ready super early so that they have the grace to be like, okay, good, he's going to be on. Whereas Chris, I think he's so confident in his ability. He's more concerned that you get there the right way on show day. He doesn't care how you look 2 days out, 2 weeks out. As long as you're the best look show day is all he's concerned about. And sometimes that takes you not looking too good 4 weeks out. So if he has to hold you back, like with Derek didn't look that crazy 4 weeks out like he did with Hani, but on stage that was his all-time best. So that's all that is.
She wrote.
All right, y'all. That's a wrap for today. I appreciate y'all for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Just to update, Kane getting surgery tomorrow. The appointment is tomorrow for surgery, 8 a.m. So
nice.
They say you're gonna stay overnight, I believe. Something like that. So he should be all good. He could get out, stop wearing diapers now.
Yeah.
And then they're neutering him too, right?
They're gonna do both. So they actually don't even this place don't even offer neutering unless they're the procedure. So it's a place that what do you call it? They're like I don't know what do you call it? It's like a service. So it's a nonprofit actually. So the everything combined would actually be a lot more expensive if you just go to ER and do it. Oh, that should be stupid,
ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's actually I went to ER first, and I'm like.
So you kind of went to like a specialist.
Yeah. So the price they give is actually like a really good price, but the issue is that they don't take most credit cards because it's nonprofit. Credit,
it's cash.
Yeah, you better But they have their own thing that they do, like some doggy credit kind of thing that you could pay another portion like a week after as well.
Oh, okay.
Luckily, that places like this exist, but because if not, shit, it'll be a lot of dogs. There are a lot of dogs dying, but there'll be a lot more. Most people can't afford these kind of surgeries, right? So dogs would just be.
Yeah, even if it's a human, like a dog, is like, man. But dogs is people love their dogs.
That's what I'm saying. If it's a person, what they'll do is they'll give you the surgery and then you're in debt. If it's a dog, they're gonna be like, no, I'm
nah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Come back. Yeah, that sucks.
That's how it goes, But so I appreciate anybody who donated, anybody who just reached out, say what's up. And I appreciate anybody who just even watches the podcast and supports in general. Appreciate all of y'all, all my friends, Nate, Alyssa, everybody.
Yeah, for sure, man. Speedy healing for Kane.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right, get some food in, y'all.
All right.
Five Guys. We're going to Five Guys.
Lucky you. Later.
Later.